Picture two people opening their banking apps on a Monday morning. Person one earns $140,000 a year. Nice apartment, new car, latest phone, designer wardrobe. They open their app, see $800 in checking, and close it quickly. Payday is 11 days away. They sit back in their chair, already mentally calculating whether they can stretch groceries until then, already rehearsing the internal promise they've made 100 times before. Next month will be different. Person two earns $54,000 a year. Modest apartment, a 2019 Honda, a cracked screen they never bothered replacing. They open their app, see $47,000 sitting across savings and investments, and close it with complete calm. No knot in the stomach. No mental math. Just quiet confidence. Same economy. Same country. One earns nearly 3 times more. Yet the person earning less has built more financial security than the high earner may ever see. This isn't about luck, inheritance, or secret investments. It's about a psychological trap, so subtle and so socially normalized that most high earners never realize they're inside it. They just keep earning more, spending more, and wondering why their bank account never reflects their paycheck. And the painful part, the harder they work, the deeper the trap gets. Here's what makes it worse. The high earner isn't being reckless. They're not gambling. They're not making obviously destructive decisions. They're doing exactly what society told them to do. Work hard, earn more, enjoy the rewards. The apartment, the car, the clothes, it all feels like evidence of success, like proof that the sacrifices were worth it, not a problem. That's exactly what makes the trap so effective. It doesn't feel like a trap. It feels like progress. And minimalists, they figured out how to escape it. Here's how. Every time your income increases, your brain does something automatic. It recalibrates. The apartment that felt luxurious at $60,000 feels ordinary at $90,000. The car that felt like an upgrade feels like the baseline now. Your entire reference point shifts upward. And you need more just to feel the same level of satisfaction you had before. Psychologists call this hedonic adaptation. It's the reason a raise feels incredible for about 3 weeks and then quietly disappears into the background of normal life. It's the reason people earning $300,000 report the same levels of financial stress as people earning $80,000. The number on the paycheck changes. The feeling never does. You essentially get on a treadmill where the speed keeps increasing, but you never actually move forward. Every upgrade becomes the new normal within weeks. Every luxury becomes a necessity within months. And the finish line, that feeling of finally having enough, keeps moving just fast enough that you never quite reach it. But hedonic adaptation alone doesn't fully explain the trap. There's a second layer. Humans are wired for social comparison. We don't measure our financial situation in absolute terms. We measure it relative to the people around us. And as your income grows, the people around you tend to change. New job title, new colleagues, new social circle. Suddenly you're surrounded by people with bigger homes, nicer cars, more expensive tastes. And your brain, without you consciously deciding anything, starts treating their lifestyle as the new normal you need to match. Researchers call this the Diderot effect. The 18th century philosopher Denis Diderot received a beautiful scarlet robe as a gift. To match it, he replaced his old chair, then his desk, then his rug, then his entire study. One upgrade triggered a cascade of upgrades until his whole life had been rearranged around a single possession. Sound familiar? This is why high earners consistently overspend. It's not weakness or poor discipline. It's two deeply embedded psychological systems, hedonic adaptation and social comparison, working together in the background of every financial decision you make. And they're both pulling in exactly the same direction. Spend more, keep up, upgrade. And because everyone around you is doing the same thing, it never feels abnormal. It just feels like life. Minimalists didn't become financially secure because they earn less and therefore expect less. Many minimalists are high earners. What separates them is that they made one decision that most people never make. They defined enough before lifestyle pressure could define it for them. They decided in advance what kind of home was sufficient, what car met their actual needs, What level of comfort constituted genuine satisfaction rather than social performance? And then they stopped there, even as their income kept growing, even as colleagues upgraded around them, even as social pressure quietly suggested they were falling behind. This single decision breaks both psychological traps simultaneously. When you've defined enough, hedonic adaptation has nowhere to pull you because you've already drawn the line and committed to holding it. When you've defined enough, social comparison loses its grip because you're no longer measuring yourself against an ever-moving external standard. You have your own standard, and it doesn't move. The result is that every income increase above their defined enough goes directly to savings and investments rather than lifestyle expansion. The high earner absorbs raises into a bigger life. The minimalist converts raises into freedom. Consider two people both earning $120,000. The first never defined enough. Over time, lifestyle creep absorbed every raise. A better apartment here, a car upgrade there, a wardrobe that matched the person they were becoming. They spend $110,000 a year and save $10,000. The second defined enough at $60,000 of annual spending years ago and never moved that line regardless of income growth. They save $60,000 a year. After 10 years, the first person has roughly $150,000 saved, assuming decent returns. The II second has crossed $800,000. Same income, same decade. The only difference is whether they let psychological defaults run their finances or made a conscious decision to override them. One person built a bigger life, the other built an exit from a life they didn't choose. You don't need to become a minimalist in the aesthetic sense. You don't need to own 47 possessions or sleep on a mattress on the floor or give up things that genuinely bring you joy. You need to do one thing: define enough. Right now, before your next raise, before your next promotion, before the next version of your life arrives, and quietly raises your expectations without your permission. Ask yourself honestly, what level of lifestyle would genuinely satisfy me if I never compared it to anyone else's? Not what impresses your colleagues, not what matches your LinkedIn title. What actually makes your daily life feel full and comfortable and enough? What home, what car, what wardrobe serves your actual life rather than the image of your life you're projecting outward? Write that number down. Protect it like a decision you've already made. And commit that everything above it goes toward the future version of you who has real options, who can leave a bad job without panic, take a risk without catastrophe, weather a crisis without collapse, or retire before the world tells you to. Because here's the truth, that most high earners never sit with long enough. The goal was never to earn more. The goal was always to have more freedom, more security, more choices. Somewhere along the way, a bigger income got confused with a better life. And that confusion is expensive. That's what the logistics worker with $47,000 in savings figured out. That's what minimalists have quietly known, while high earners wondered where all the money went. The trap isn't your income. It's the assumption that more income requires a more expensive life. Break that assumption, and the math starts working for you instead of against you. And once you see it clearly, once you actually name the trap for what it is, you'll realize that financial freedom was never about earning more. It was always about wanting less than you're capable of affording. That's the minimalist secret. And now you have it.